Hey everybody, today we're going to do a review of slope. So remember, slope is how steep a line is. So the steepness of a line is called slope. Now if you take a look at the roller coaster ride over here on the right hand side of your screen, what I'd like you to do is circle the line with the biggest slope. So there are some examples here. So if you take a look at this line, this one, or this one, which would you say has the biggest slope, or which is the steepest? Well, hopefully you circled this one because this is the one that is the steepest. Now the letter that we use for slope is a lowercase m. Why? Because it comes from the French word monter, which means to climb or to rise. All right, so now when given a graph of a line, we need to know a simple definition of slope. We talked about this in class. They are two R words. Can you remember what the first one is? The first one is rise. And the second word is run. The slope is the ratio of a line's y change. So on the y-axis, if you think of our coordinate graph, remember whenever we're doing rate of change, we're always looking first over here at the y-axis, and then we're comparing that y change to its x change. So again, rate of change, we compare the y to the x. Now let's go ahead and talk about finding the actual numerical slope by looking at a graph. So the first thing that we always do is we start at the point that's farthest to the left, or you can think of it from, we want to go from the bottom point to the top point. So we'll put left here, or bottom. So whichever point is lower on the graph. So if we take a look at our graph that we have right here where we're going to find the slope, we're going to first need to find the rise. So start at the bottom point, and we're going to count how many we have to go up. So we would have to go up 2, and then we would need to move to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would rise up 2 and then run to the right 5. So our slope is 2/5. Now taking a look at the 4 graphs at the bottom, there were a couple mistakes on the graph, so I've gone ahead and crossed those out. What we're going to do is just find the slope of the lines that are given to us. So we want to look for the rise and the run. So start with the lowest point on the first graph. And we want to count how many up, how much we have to rise. So it looks like we're rising 2. And then we're going to run 1, 2, 3. But since we moved to the left, that would be the negative direction. So I'm going to put -3. So my slope is -2/3. All right, so what I'd like you to do now is go ahead and pause the video and see if you can find the slope of the next 3 graphs. Go ahead, pause the video, try the next 3, write them down on your paper, and then go ahead and play the video to check your answer. All right, let's see how you did. So for the second one, we're going to rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to run 1. So this gives us 5/1, but I'm going to go ahead and simplify that to 5. The next graph, we're going to rise 1, 2, and then we're going to run 1, 2, 3, 4. So we get 2/4, which reduced is 1/2. Yes, you do need to reduce your fractions. And then for the last one, we have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a run of -1, so that's going to give us a slope of -4. All right, nice job. All right, so if you were in class when we talked about slope, we talked about horizontal and vertical lines. So this is what a horizontal line would look like. And this slope we say is 0. This has a slope of 0. A vertical line, on the other hand, would look like this one. And this actually has no slope, because if you think about skiing on ski slopes, could you ski on this first graph? Yes, you'd be cross-country skiing, but could you ski on this graph here? Nope, you would pretty much and fall down. So that one is no slope. So we have 0 slope for horizontal lines and then no slope for the other ones. Now, sometimes we're not given a picture, but instead we're given 2 points on the line. When this is the case, we have to implement another definition of slope. So what we're looking for is, we know that the slope is the rise over the run, which is the change in y compared to the change in x. So what we need to do is from given 2 points, we need to find how much the y changed and how much the x changed. So to do this, we need to subtract one y value from the other y value, and then subtract one x value from the other x value. One way that I like to set this up, and I think it makes it kind of easy, is I stack the 2 points one on top of the other, and then I do my subtraction. So if we look at this example over here on the right side, I have -2, 3, and 1, 7. So if I put one over the other, now to find the change, I'm really using subtraction. So I'm going to do -2 minus 1, which is -3, and then 3 minus 7, which is -4. Now I need to come back up here and take a look. Now these were my x coordinates and these were my y coordinates. The slope is always how much the y changed over how much the x changed. So in this case, this is my y, -4, and then -3 is my x. Now negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I'm going to simplify that to 4/3, and that is my slope. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the bottom and try another one. So we have 6, -1, and 4, 2. Okay, so we are going to subtract going downwards, so go ahead and set that up on your paper. Pause the video if you need to. We're going to take 6 minus 4, which is 2, and then -1 minus 2, which is -3. So this is going to give me a slope of -3 over 2. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is go ahead and try the next 3 problems on your own. Pause the video, and then when you're done, or if you want to do one at a time, pause the video for a little bit, check the first one, pause the video, check the second one, and then when you're done, we'll see how you did. All right, let's see how it went. We have 3, -2, and 4, 3. So we are going to subtract. We get 3 minus 4, which is -1, and then -2 minus 3 is -5. This gives me a slope of, now since it's a negative and a negative, I'm going to make it positive. I get a slope of 5 over 1, which equals 5. For the next problem, I have 6, 5, and 3, 4. Again, we're going to go ahead and subtract. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 5 minus 4 is 1. This gives me a slope of 1/3. And the last one, -1, 7, and -3, 1. Subtract. -1 minus -3. So that's a bloop bloop there. So -1 plus 3 is 2, and then 7 minus 1 is 6. So my slope is going to be 6 over 2, which equals 3. There you go. That's a review of slope.